Hello. Welcome to Tea with Fee. I'm Make It So HQ. I have got my cup of tea already and I'm going to chat to you about what's been going on for the last couple of weeks. Can you believe it's been 2 weeks, well 3 weeks since we last caught up, and so much has happened in those couple of weeks. Most of it TT related, because that's why I've not been around, because I was helping with TT refreshments. So I really wish I had counted how many dishes had been washed or tea bags used, because I noticed somewhere else had done that and actually said we'd use this many tea bags, and I think that would be really interesting. But anyway, so I've not done an awful lot of sewing because I have been helping with the TT stuff. Although to be fair, I have actually made a pair of shorts since I last spoke to you. I think I might have mentioned it before I went off that I was planning on making some. So I got, let me see, the Green Style. I really like Green Style. If you've not heard of them, go and check them out. Green Style. Taylor shorts, they're called, Taylor. And I made a pair in this really nice navy cottony gabardine fabric, which I got from Ramsey Craft Centre, which is really nice. And it was about, I think, at the most £12 a metre. And the shorts were a metre's worth of fabric and there was a bit left over. And I'm really pleased with them. What I should have done though, so note to self and anybody else who is going to do some clothes making, is don't skip the make a practice pair. Better to make a practice pair that can become a pair that you wear than make the proper pair and then they're not wearable, because then you've wasted that fabric. So make your practice pair in a fabric that you potentially would end up wearing if they are usable. So what happened with mine is that I have made them, I can get them on and they are comfortable, but they are a bit too tight because I needed to adjust them around the waist. So all I did was I just pulled up where the front joins the actual waistband, so they sit lovely and straight, but as a result of that I've lost like an inch in the area sort of between like the crotch area. So this curvy bit in the shorts, I've lost an inch worth of depth, which means that they're quite tight. So they're actually okay to wear in terms of just walking around in them, but they're not very comfortable to sit in for any length of time, and I'm not sure how comfortable I would feel if I was having to bend down a lot in them. I think there's a possibility that they might rip. However, this pattern itself is a really good pattern. The instructions are really good. The thing that you need to remember when you are making your own clothes from a pattern, that the pattern is based on a specific body shape and type, and you might not be that body shape and type. So although you have picked the size that works for you, everybody's shape is completely different. And it's the same with, so this is like a relatively new independent company that makes patterns, but even like your big brands like Simplicity or McCall's patterns are based on a bog standard average size. So if you don't meet that their average, then you will need to do some sort of alterations. But if you accept that before you get started, then you're not then frustrated and disappointed that it's not worked first time, and you just use the whole thing as a bit of a learning process and a journey to ultimately get to the stage where you have got a pattern that you can literally just make loads of them, because you've gone through that process to get it perfect for your body shape. So that's what I'm working on at the minute. So I made the one pair. I'm going to buy the same fabric again and I'm going to do an alteration to them. Now, because I already have a pair, I've just cut out some fabric that is the back of a pair of curtains, and I'm going to use that for my practice piece just to do the alterations that I need to, so that I can then work that into the pattern. the pattern pieces for future ones, because I definitely would make them again. If I can get this nailed, I would definitely make them again. Although it is a little bit controversial that I've made a pair of shorts, because you know that I am normally a really cold person, but how hot has it been? So I have actually had shorts and bare legs pretty much for a full week now, which is unheard of. And as you can see, I've got like a vest top on. The shed is melting. Although it is a little bit cooler today. So yeah, so I kind of need some sort of short option in my wardrobe. And I thought once I've got this nailed, the whole like waist crotch area, I can just make them longer, and it's the start of a pair of trousers. So it's about having the confidence to know that you don't need to buy another pattern that's trousers. You can just adapt the short length to full length trousers. You don't need to buy another pattern to make a pair of trousers, because the hardest bit really is to get the waist and the crotch area right. And once you've got that right, you can just play around with how long or wide or whatever you want the legs to be. So that's where I'm at with those. I've also bought at the same time just some denim. I don't know if you can see that from there. So I've got this denim, so I'm going to make a pair of shorts out of those. And then I got this nice green fabric, and I'm going to make a dress out of that at some point. However, because TT has been crazy and affected my schedule, I'm now on the 15th of June. I mean, how is it the 15th of June? I mean, that's just crazy. But anyway, it's the 15th of June, and I've got a lot of work to do between now and the end of the month. So I'm in the process of making this month's box pattern. I'm on version 2. So version 1 in my head was going to work perfectly, and then when I actually started to put it together, I realised it wasn't going to work. So I've then unpicked version 1 and kept the bits I can keep, had to recut out some of the other bits to start again, and I'm now on version 2. So I am 2/3 of the way through finishing that, and then I need to edit the video and write the pattern properly and get all that ready for the end of the month. I should be able to get the boxes done before then if I've not got that done, but that's on the agenda this week. I've also been delighted to welcome back all my sewing ladies this week, so it's been lovely having a bit of activity back in the shed, so it's been really nice. One of those ladies is Lynn, and she was here on Thursday, and it was, you know, when just things happen for a reason. So I'll show you, this is for this month's box pattern, right? So I'm not sure that that's going to give anything away. I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyway, I had to cut it, I had to unpick it, as I said, and what happened was I didn't have enough yellow left to recut the pieces that I needed, and I didn't really want to have to waste all the other bits to start it again with brand new colours and fabric. Bizarrely, Lynn came to sewing on Thursday with this yellow fabric because she wanted my opinion on whether or not it was going to work with something that she was working on. And it was like, what are the chances of you bringing that today? And I've run out and actually really could use some. So she has lent me this because I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to need. But that was just really fortuitous timing. It was bizarre how that worked out. So yes, it was it's been lovely having everybody back. So we had Tuesday. It was so hot in here on Tuesday. I think it was like 30 degrees. We had all the windows open. I've got, I don't know if you won't be able to see them, but I've actually put cardboard over the 2 skylights because that's where a lot of the heat comes in. So I had put cardboard up over them, anticipating a 4 o'clock sewing lesson was going to be melting. And even with the cardboard up, it was really hot in here. So we had all the windows open. Christine actually brought her own stand-up fan, which we had going. I had a little desk fan. Laura had a handhold fan, and then somebody needed to use the iron, and we were just like, oh, I don't think we can cope with the heat of the iron. But anyway, so that was fine. So that was on Tuesday. Christine's finished her table runner, which looks lovely, and she started on a toiletry bag, which is actually a free Tilda pattern, which is really nice, and we've made quite a few of those in classes. And Laura was cutting out the pieces for her last month's project from the boxes, which is this little storage basket. I think I called it a basket. So she was cutting out the pieces for that, and Kaz was working on taking up a skirt for her mum, as well as trying to finish off the pattern weight pouch, which was like a patchwork pouch with little pattern weights in it. So she was working on that as well. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday was work on this week's project, or this month's project, and then realised it wasn't going to work, so I did that on Wednesday. And obviously Sewing Bee was on Wednesday, so I had to watch that. I'm enjoying the Sewing Bee. I'm quite liking the fact that the projects are fairly new ones. There's not been a lot of repeat ones. I'm not sure on the whole crochet blanket upcycle thing though. I'm not sure whether, to me, the crochet blankets would have had a longer life left as crochet blankets and donated to somebody else that could use it as a blanket, because some of the outfits that were made, much as they were lovely, they're not going to be worn like all the time, and then they're potentially going to end up in a charity shop and someone else might not use that, whereas a blanket's got a better chance of being reused by somebody else. That's just my opinion. So anyway, yeah, so Sewing Bee is going well. I'm enjoying that. I'm not tempted to try and make any other things like I have done in previous years, because I just don't have enough hours in the day to do that. But I am enjoying the kind of entertainment of watching it and just seeing what they are making. So it has been good. So that was on Wednesday, and then Thursday, I mean, it's only Friday. It's Friday today, and it's like, how's it got to Friday? But equally, I feel like a lot has happened. Thursday, as you know, is my busy day, and I love a Thursday. And I know it's the 15th of June, and I know this is not the first time that I have mentioned this. However, we are talking Christmas in the shed yesterday. So we had 2 Christmas table runners on the go, and then Thursday night we were actually doing, Lynn and Fran and Wendy were here. Fran's working on the drawstring bag as part of the Sew Like a Pro programme. Lynn was working on her basket. So Lynn's working on this as well. And Wendy was cutting out felt Christmas tree baubles. She's going to make a felt garland. So she was doing Christmas stuff. So it was like a full day of Christmas stuff yesterday, which was quite nice. And it's kind of made me start thinking about Christmas myself and what am I going to make? What am I making? Am I making anything for Christmas presents? Because let's be honest, you need to start thinking about it quite soon, depending on how many you're going to make and how involved they are. But anyway, so yes, so that was Thursday. Friday, we had another sewing lesson this morning. So I had Alwyn, who's working on the graduation bag. Christine's working on something which I won't mention because it's a gift for somebody. And Portia is working on a sewing machine cover in the really nice fabric, which I think I talked about the last time, which I made a dress in, which has got like, it's like a light bluey grey colour with little pins on it, and she's making her sewing machine cover in that, so that was really nice. Hi Elaine! So yes, so that was today, and then today I have continued with this month's box pattern this afternoon. Had my little accountability chat with my lovely friend Livy. We chat beginning of the week, end of the week about what our goals are for the week, because we're both like self-employed, and sometimes if you are a one-man band and you're not accountable to anybody, things don't happen. So it's quite nice to actually have somebody that you say something out loud to. Once you've said it out loud to somebody else, it kind of has to happen. So we do that. So, and we've been doing that for about 18 months now, and that works really well. And we've never even met each other in person, but we talk to each other twice a week like this on the phone. It's really bizarre. So yes, so I really need to put that on my to-do list to go and see Livy. So Livy, if you're watching this, I'm coming to see you so I can get an actual hug instead of a virtual hug. But anyway, so that was today as well. And then we've got, for anybody that's not aware, Social Saturday tomorrow down at Union Mills Methodist Church. It is not, I repeat, it is not Crafternoon tea. It is Social Saturday. So basically what that means is you turn up, preferably let me know in advance. Don't just rock up on the day because I might be full. However, it's a case of you bring something that you're working on and you do it together with like-minded people, and we have a chat and a laugh and a cup of tea and a biscuit and possibly a cake. And we spend a morning from 9 o'clock till 12:30 or any sort of time in between. You don't need to stay for all of it if you don't want to. And just try and get a dent in some of those sewing projects. So if you're not already coming and you think, actually, I really fancy that and I've got just the thing that I need to get finished, then message me to make sure that there's space. And I might see you tomorrow. So that is a roundup of my week. TT is it feels like a distant memory. It was like a whirlwind. I did get the patches on my apron, so I'll try and get a picture of those for you. I had to do an embroidered one using the sewing machine for last year's, because apparently last year the official merchandise people didn't do a patch with 2022 on it, although there was a 2023 one. So I have bought the 2023 one and added it on, made one for 2022, and now that's me all up to date, and I now need to wait for next year's to add the next one on. And the plan is that the penny each year that I help at TT down at the church, I'll add a patch, and then by the time I'm 90, it will be covered. That's the idea. I'll probably weigh a ton and it will be too heavy to wear. But, you know, we'll worry about that neither the time. By that point, I'll be promoted to sandwich making duties and won't need to move, and I'll just sit at a table the whole time and it'll be fine. So anyway, what are everybody's sewing plans or general plans for this weekend? My plan is Social Saturday tomorrow. I really need to get the box pattern finished so that I can do the editing of that next week, along with all the normal sewing lessons. Joyce is back, so if you're watching, hi! And I'm going to catch up with her next week. So it'll be good to get back into the routine with Joyce and find out what it is that we're going to be working on next. And that is it really. Just enjoying the nice weather as long as it continues, and getting a bit of gardening done. So what is everybody else doing? Oh yeah, working on the boxes and enjoying the sunshine. It's very conflicting, isn't it? Because you're like, I like them enjoying the sun, I like being out in the garden, but equally I'd quite like to get whatever projects it is done. And I understand why a lot of people that knit, crochet or sew do more in the winter and less in the summer, spring, especially if they're into the garden, because there's much more hours in the day to spend in the garden and more jobs to do. Whereas in the winter, your jobs in the garden are a lot less, and there's less daylight as well. So I do get that whole dilemma, and I think I'm getting it more the longer that I live here. And I think possibly because I'm working from home now as well, and I'm seeing the garden more, I'm much more interested in the garden and doing stuff in it. So I definitely would say gardening was a hobby. Didn't say I was good at it, but it's definitely a hobby. So on that note, it's been short and sweet today, but it's been one of those crazy weeks where my head is literally about to explode. But thanks for watching. Thank you for watching, Elaine. I hope you have a lovely weekend. For anybody that watches on replay, thank you very much for watching. And I will, hopefully, all going well, speak to you all next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.